Mitch McConnell has ruled out a government shutdown to block Obama immigration moves. Speaker Boehner said Thursday Republicans could use a spending bill to block Obama's planned executive action to grant amnesty. Mitch McConnell ruled out a government shutdown over it, canceling the one major piece of leverage the GOP has in the fight. Let me tell you what this means. In the real world, all it means, that's not the right way to say it. What it means is that all Obama has to do is threaten a government shutdown, and apparently the Senate will cave on anything Obama wants. They can't shut down the government. Nope, can't shut, because the people will hate them. The people that just elected them in droves will hate them. Yeah, because you know why? Because the people that just elected them want them to cooperate with the Democrats. The people that just elected, this is what the Senate believes, that the people that just elected Republicans want them to work together with the Democrats. Boehner, to his credit, is out saying that they're going to do, he's saying that they're going to do everything they can to stop Obama's executive order on immigration. That is what they were elected to do. They were not elected to compromise. They were not elected to... I'll tell you, we talked yesterday about the old rules of politics and how they're out the door. Apparently, the Senate has not modernized. The Senate still believes they were sent there to work together, to compromise, and to govern and to work with the other side, because that's what the American people want. And Obama's got attacked to the center. This is what losing elections mean, and all that. Pragmatism is a new word being used to describe them. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems to me that a year ago, when we get to December, there was a so-called government shutdown. And I remember it vividly. The Democrats and the media were running around and they were tarring and feathering the Republicans. What an insensitive bunch of brutes. What a bunch of anti-poor people. What a bunch of anti-women. They can shut the government down. The one thing that keeps people... The New York Times was running articles asking people to send in their hard luck stories. How has the government shutdown destroyed your life? And Ted Cruz was getting blamed for it. Remember all that? And apparently it was so bad, the media coverage was so bad, that Mitch McConnell and the Senate Republicans do not want to revisit. No way. No how. We're not going to go there again. Look at how that hurt us. And that's when you stop and say, hurt you? Who just won in a landslide election? If I'm not mistaken, it was the Republicans. Those evil SOBs that shut down the government last December. They even called it the Ted Cruz shutdown. Remember this? The Republicans themselves are running around complaining and moaning about Ted Cruz, and the media was dumping all over Ted Cruz, and the shutdown, it was horrible. And we're never going to do that again. The media hates us when we do that. They destroy us. And yet, despite having shut down the government. It wasn't even a shutdown. That's another thing. How is refusing to fund Obama's unconstitutionality a shutdown of the government? What's worse? In the minds of the people who participated in this last election, what do you think is worse? Obama mocking the Constitution and transforming this country into something it was never intended to be, or the Republicans taking the money away from him so he can't do it? To listen to the Senate Republicans, you would think the people, no. If it's a government shutdown or Obama transforming the country, let him transform the country. We do not want to suffer the humiliation and the media criticism ever again of shutting down the government. Well, okay, fine. But if you're going to tell everybody up front that you're not going to defund Obamacare bit by bit, if you're not going to defund the areas of amnesty, immigration reform, to stop him from doing it, because people are going to call that a government shutdown, then you're basically telling Obama he's got a free road. He's not going to be stopped on anything. If they can call refusing to fund Obama's unconstitutional power grabs, shutting down the government. It damn well needs to be shut down if that's what it takes. The President of the United States is mocking the Constitution. In the process, he's transforming this country and changing it into something it was never intended to be and destroying a lot of hope and opportunity for Americans who live in this country and were born in this country. This is outrageous. And if stopping that is called a government shutdown, then it seems to me that's exactly what's called for. But no, there's so much fear over what the media would say. Look at how bad it was last December. Right, if people really remember. I guess a lot of people went to the polls on Tuesday, November 4th. And I guess even a lot more people would have voted Republican than did if it wouldn't have been for the shutdown. Why, they might have gained control of the whole Senate if they hadn't shut down the government, right? No, it does tick me off. I don't get this use of terms anyway. Okay, so Obama wants to do some unconstitutional things on Obamacare and amnesty. The only recourse the Congress has is the power of the purse to pass legislation that does not grant him the money to do it. And then, all of a sudden, that's called shutting down the government. So destroying the Constitution or shutting down the government. We're going to put those two things on the scales, and we're going to figure that the American people would rather have the Constitution destroyed and transformed instead of the government shut down. Yeah, they might even call them racist, too. That would be really, really bad. Racists shutting down. Oh, yeah, we can't have that. We can't put up with that. I don't know. So they've taken impeachment off the table. And they've taken this so-called government. Why can't they just stand up and say it's not shutting down the government? It's saving the government. It's protecting this country as the way it was founded. Why can't somebody just stand up and say what's really going on here? All right, let's hit the audio sound bites. We'll get to your phone calls. But I wanted to get that in. Immigration, I think, is every bit as important as Obamacare stuff is. As I said yesterday, the thing about amnesty, it's not reversible. Obamacare, elements of it still are. But once you announce that illegals are all of a sudden able to permanently stay here, I don't know how you reverse that. And particularly, all this is a Democrat voter registration drive. And the Republicans on their side, too. Don't forget, the Chamber of Commerce is lurking out there wanting all kinds of cheap labor. But I wanted to get that mentioned lest any of you thought that it had escaped my notice today. Believe me, it hasn't.